Hi guys, today I'm going to be making this pretty buttercream pansy cake. Now before I start making any cake, I like to just do a quick rough sketch just to make sure I know what I'm getting into. This way I know what colors I will need to use later on, and it just gives me a good idea of what my finished product should end up looking like when I'm done. Next, I like to get my pastry bags ready. For this cake, I used tips 104, round tips 1, 5, 10, and a leaf tip. The colors I used for this cake were purple, yellow, blue, green, and just a little bit of white. Just to help things be a bit more organized for later, I like to get all my colors organized and sorted into their proper pastry bags before I start doing anything else. To store my piped flowers on, I just like to use a regular sheet tray with a piece of parchment on top. And to pipe out our flowers, I just like to use extra parchment paper that I just cut up into little squares whenever I have an extra sheet laying around. Here I just got my flower nail ready by piping a little bit of buttercream on top and placing a parchment square on top of that. So to begin piping my flowers, I just got my purple pastry bag ready and I just piped 3 large petals. Next, I just grabbed my yellow and I'm going to proceed to pipe 2 more petals over top of the 3 purple ones. This makes up our pansy shape, and we will store this on our sheet tray that we got ready earlier, and we will finish them later. We can now get our flower nail ready for our next flower that we're going to pipe out. And if you ever find your pastry bags getting a little messy, I just like to keep a towel nearby just to clean it up if I need to. For the remaining flowers, you can just play around and have fun with the different color combinations. For this next pansy, I started with blue petal base, and I'm going to add on some yellow on top of that. So this is where you can just have fun and play around with whatever color combinations you would see fit, that you would like more on your cake. No need for the flowers to be perfect, too realistic, just have fun with it. When all your flowers are done, you can just lay them on the tray and pop them in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes or until they are firm. Next, I'm just going to color a bit of extra purple buttercream black to paint the centers of our pansies now that they are fully frozen. Now that they're frozen, they're nice and firm, so we can just grab a paintbrush and dip it in our black buttercream and just paint the centers of the pansies. Once all the centers of my pansies are painted, I'm just going to pop them back in the freezer because they have softened up just a little bit from sitting out, and we want them to be nice and firm for later when we want to put them on our cake. Here I just have a pre-iced plain vanilla cake that I've tinted the outer buttercream with just a bit of purple to give it a nice lilac finish. Now, with my green pastry bag fitted with round tip number 3, I'm just going to pipe my wreath around the top of my cake. Once again, there really is no need for it to be perfect. You can just have fun with it. It's okay if you mess up a bit, because later on it will most likely be covered up by either a pansy or some leaves or some other buds that we might pipe, so you can really just go crazy. Now, by the time I'm done piping my wreath, my pansies should be nice and frozen up in the freezer, so they should be ready to transfer over onto the cake. once you've had your wreath piped out to your liking, we are now ready to transfer over our pansy flowers. Since our pansies have been frozen once again in the freezer, they should come clean and easily off of the back of the parchment paper. If you pick it up, they should be able to just peel right off and easily picked up with a spatula and placed anywhere on your cake. The nice thing about having chilled flowers is that it gives you the ability to move them around. If you put them somewhere where you don't really quite like, it's nice and easy to just pick them up and move them somewhere else. Now with this cake, I decided to put 8 pansies on the top of my cake. You can of course put on however many you would like, if you want them a bit more sparse, or if you want the cake to look more full. It's really whatever you want it to look like. If you have any remaining flowers that weren't used on the cake, they can be kept for later. They look really cute on some cupcakes or perhaps some cookies. If you just cover them and freeze them, they should keep in the freezer for quite some time. Buttercream is very resilient. Now that we have our flowers placed where we want them, we can begin to finish up the cake. With my purple and yellow buttercream, I just decided to pipe a few flower buds here and there on the rest of the wreath. Now that my flower buds are done, I am going to pipe on some buds. To do that, I get my green icing bag fitted with a round tip number 10 and just pipe on some blobs here and there, kind of just filling in the empty space, really just however you see fit. To finish up my buds, I just grab my white icing bag fitted with round tip number 5 and just go and put the tip in the center of the buds and just squeeze a bit of white icing into the center. Make sure when you are relieving pressure from your bag, you do a little spin just so you don't have a pointy little end on your buds. Now the final step is to finish off the cake with some leaves. Here I just have my green pastry bag once again. I just changed the tip to a leaf tip, and now I'm just going to apply leaves wherever I think they are needed. You can go with a lot of leaves, or you can once again choose to leave it more sparse if you would rather have it that way. Once you are happy with your amount of leaves, your cake is finished.